Hello, I'm gonna wait for a few people to come on here. Today I'm gonna talk about how to always have time to reach your fitness goals. Always have time. I put that in quotes for a reason. So I'm gonna wait for a few people to come on. I'm all cozy today. I'm wearing my like 80s sweater or whatever. Got this years ago at Goodwill or something. Come on, people. Let's get some people on here. I know the last time I did a live video around this time, it actually got really popular really quick. Hey, Jillian. We're waiting for a few more people to come on here. We're going to talk today about how to always have time to reach your fitness goals because we know that, hello, Alanis, because we know that most of the time it's bullshit. But I'm going to take it a little further than what you guys have heard before because I think that for the most part, we've all heard like, oh, you don't prioritize it. We've all heard that shit before, but has it helped anyone? I don't see it changing things. So I'm going to take it a little further today, right? So I'm going to wait for a few more people to come on. And then we're gonna start it up, and they can watch a bit of the replay too, because I do have a call coming up, so I gotta make this quick today. I had my coffee, and I'm over here just like running on caffeine. You know, I try to not drink so much coffee anymore. I've been cutting down, but I do love my coffee. So let's wait for a few more people to come on. Hey, Brandon, what's up? We're going to talk today about how to always have time to reach your fitness goals. And this is going to be, you think you know what I'm going to talk about. Because we've all heard this before. And you're like, oh, it's bullshit. You don't prioritize it. But it's going to be a little different. I'm going to take it a little further. All right, so we've got a few people on here. People can watch the replay. I want to start getting into it, right? So we've all heard it before, how to always have time to reach your fitness goals. We have all heard this before, right? They'll say, you don't prioritize it, you don't have discipline, it's a bad excuse, you don't make time to work out. We've all heard this before, and it comes down to prioritization, right? What you prioritize, right? You don't prioritize it, so you're not gonna get there. And we've all, excuse me, heard this before, right? But clearly, right, this prioritization discussion is not helping anyone because those people who don't prioritize it are continuing to not prioritize it. So I'm going to take it a little further today, right? We've all heard the lack of prioritization speech. We've all heard it before. We've all heard the lack of discipline speech. We've all heard it before, right? I'm going to take things further today because I think that there's more to be said. So I challenge you. I want to challenge you now at this point, right? We think that if we have a lack of an ability to prioritize working out, we think, okay, well, I know why this is happening, right? This is happening because I dread it. This is happening because it's hard. This is happening because it's hard work. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. in the dead of winter, right? It's hard. It sucks. It's supposed to suck. And it's difficult. And it's a commitment and all of these things, right? So we think at the end of the day, okay, the reason that we don't make time for working out, the reason that we don't prioritize our fitness is because it's a lot fucking easier to not prioritize something that's really hard to do, right? We want to take the easy way out. We don't want to put the work in. And regardless of whether we want to admit that or not, for the most part, most of us know this as the truth, right? So my challenge to you now is, are there not other things in your life that you wake up every single day to do that also fall under that description? Are there not other things in your life that you do every single fucking day in your routine that are hard, things that are difficult, things that suck, right? Aren't there other things in your life that you do that are difficult, right? That you don't want to do, that maybe somehow you've prioritized those, but you haven't prioritized working out, right? That means there's something more at play here. There's something more at play, right? And it's a mindset shift. It's a mindset problem. It's something that people have to get around. The reason you're not prioritizing working out is not because it's hard, is not because it's difficult, is not because you dread it. Because, like I just said, there are things in your life that you do every single day that fall under that same category. And if you're doing those things, it can't be the same reason. I got a tickle in my throat. It can't be the same reason, right, that you're not getting your fitness goals in, right? It can't be. And I like to think of it this way, right? So what are things that we do in life? What are things that we do every day that we commit to doing, that we prioritize, even if they're hard, even if they're difficult, even if they suck, things that we do every day? They are things that we define as the reward is great enough to make it worth it, right? And not only is the reward great enough to make it worth it, but the reward is 100p necessary. We cannot live without it, right? For example, you go to work every day. Well, yeah, money is great to have, but you have to make a living or you will not live, okay? Same for a lot of people with school. It's a little different with school, but if you want to have a good career to get the job that you want, a lot of people believe you got to go to school. It's hard to go to school. It's hard to do that work. It sucks. You have late nights in college, so why the hell are all of us doing this, right? And it's a long-term goal. There are things that we do every single day in our routine that suck, that we don't like to do. And the reason we do it is because we have defined in our heads, we have deemed the end result, the reward associated with those actions to be 100% worth it. And not only that, but 100% necessary. We cannot live without it, right? And then those things that would be great to have but aren't necessary, obviously they take the back burner and we end up not prioritizing them, okay? So what I want to talk about today, and this is a term, right? So like I said, a lot of people will talk about your lack of prioritization. I think that doesn't help people. I think people know that as fact and it's not helping them actually get themselves into the gym, get themselves into a routine. I think what you need to do is an exercise in redefining your non-negotiables, okay? Your non-negotiables. So what are your non-negotiables? These are things that you have to define for yourself. These are things that you have defined in your mind. These are decisions that you have made. But a lot of us don't believe that we've made these decisions. We think we are the victim to our schedule. We play the victim mindset. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, you've chosen to do everything that you do, right? The reason you've chosen to go to work in the morning, the reason you've chosen to do that is because you have deemed the reward, the end result to be not only 100% worth it, but 100% necessary. It's great to have money, but you also can't live without it. So what you need to do is redefine your health, redefine your fitness, not necessarily as a great body that would be amazing to have, right? But redefine it as something that you actually see as 100% necessary for you to live your life the way that you want to live it, okay? Not only now, but 50 years from now. What's going to happen to you if you don't prioritize this now? This is how you create exercise and health as a non-negotiable, right? It's non-negotiable. I'm not talking about the word prioritization because prioritization doesn't give any kind of indication that these are non-negotiables for you. And I can give you a few examples. A non-negotiable for you now is probably getting up in the morning, going to work. Do you love to do that every day? Probably not, but you do it anyway. You fucking do it, right? What a really simple example, right? You brush your teeth. Why? Because you don't want to get cavities and be like totally fucked over in 10 years, right? Well, isn't that the same reason that you should be working out now? You should be exercising now. You should be prioritizing your health now. When you make the end result something more, right? Something more than something that would be nice to have, and you make it something necessary, right? It would be great to have a body that you love. But isn't it 100% necessary to live your best life in like your best, strongest, and most able body and mindset? Isn't that important? Isn't that a non-negotiable, right? So the third point I want to make is that in many cases, right? In many cases, people who have defined their non-negotiables find ways of making things in their lives that are 100% necessary to do. And like I said, when you define a non-negotiable, it's easy to do it, even if it's hard, even if you dread it, even if it's difficult. You do it anyway because it is a non-negotiable. But people who have an awareness of their non-negotiables have generally found a way to actually enjoy them and make them fun. These are the types of people that have a job they love. They love to wake up and go to work every day, right? Because they have recognized that these things are non-negotiables in their lives, but they've also recognized that they're not a victim and that when they choose their non-negotiables, they can choose them in a way that makes it enjoyable for them, right? And it's no secret that these people who happen to have a job they love, work they love, are also generally the types of people who have a type of exercise that they really love to do, right? A type of working out that's really enjoyable for them. So not only is it a non-negotiable, it's an obligation, it's something that they have deemed necessary in their lives, but they actually enjoy doing it. They actually enjoy doing it, right? And it's no secret that on the other hand, those people who dread going to work every day, the biggest conversation is in the office is, oh, how you doing today? Oh, I'm really tired. I'm going to get a coffee. I can't wait to get out of here. Like, why are we settling for that? If you have to have certain non-negotiables in your life that you have to do no matter what, because you've deemed the end result not only rewarding enough to be worth it, but 100% necessary, why are we so complacent to allow things to be functioning in a way that is not enjoyable for us, right? So this is going to connect also to the victimized mindset and complacency. If you feel victimized and you are complacent to change things in your life, you are also going to believe that you don't have time to work out, that you can't prioritize it because you have too many other things to prioritize, that it's just too damn difficult for you. And the reason you're not prioritizing it, if you're being honest with yourself and someone gives you a speech on it, is yes, it's hard to do, I'm dreading it, maybe I'm a lazy piece of shit, maybe I just don't want to do it. But it's more than that, okay? Like I said, it's more than that. It's not about just prioritizing it. It's not about just making time for it. It's about sitting down, getting deep, thinking, what the hell are my non-negotiables every single freaking day? What are my non-negotiables and why are they my non-negotiables? They're my non-negotiables because not only is the end result rewarding enough to be worth it, but it is completely 100% necessary. So if exercise and working out